Good morning, everybody. Oi, 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 oi. And I literally have not started streaming, and just Nuisance is back. Oh my goodness, so sorry. Oh, this is so typical. Oh no. Hello, everybody. My kitchen clock is incorrect. So I'm sitting here going, oh, I've still got half an hour. But now I'm 10 minutes late. Sorry. We're live. We're live. I am live. Sorry. I'm like thinking, oh my word. I've still got like, why is it still half an hour to go? And then I looked at my phone and my phone said it's 22. So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to my crazy live stream. It tends to be a little crazy between dogs and husbands coming in and all sorts of things. So excuse all of them, ignore them. Just look at what I do over here because that's what's important. This morning, oh, I don't think you can see that. This morning, I am going to be doing, I'm going to be icing quite a few different kinds of sugar cookies. It's what's happening in my kitchen today. Sugar cookies, thankfully, can be baked, sure, up to 2-3 weeks ahead of time and iced and packaged and all the rest of it. But mine are for this week, so I try and make them as fresh as possible. But I've got a lot of stuff happening this week. So cookies I want to get done with because they need time to dry before I can pack them into bags. So yesterday I baked them. Today I'm going to ice them. They will then sit on a tray to dry, and tomorrow I'll get to be able to pack them into cellophane bags and make them look all nice and pretty for my customer, and then at least they're done and out of my hair. So, and then I can get on with the stuff that needs to be fresher. So this was not part of my plan this morning. I'm going to show you how to make your own piping bags. It was not originally part of the plan, but when I was sorting out all my stuff last night in the middle of a load shedding, I came to realize that I had run out of my disposable piping bags that I use specifically for sugar cookies. So it's the cheapy ones that I just use and trash, and they're great for my my cookies and DIY cookies in a box for the kids and stuff. But because I obviously only realized this late last night, I didn't have time this morning to go get them because they only open at 9 and I'm streaming at 9:30, so it wasn't going to happen. So I'm going to show you how to make your own piping bag. My mom used to do this and they work very well. Actually, I mean, this is how I used to do it when I started out. And then I moved over to the reusable ones. Just, yeah. So, and you need to use proper baking paper. You can't use grease-proof paper or baking paper that's not grease-proof. This is like proper quality baking paper. But you get the one in the shops that have the patterns and all that kind of stuff on it. That's the baking paper that you can definitely use to make reusable piping bags. I'm going to double it up because, well, I'm going to make 2 out of the one triangle because my roller is quite big. So I've pulled it into a triangle, cut it, as you can see. Can you see it? I've zoomed in. Goodness gracious me. I've zoomed in for the cookies. So I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see what I'm doing here. Can you see what I'm doing here? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the flat side. So, yeah, so we've got the longest of the triangle flat side. And we're going to turn it. No, wait, I'm going to make that into a triangle. Sorry, I'm going to halve that big triangle into another triangle because it's far too big. So you'll see you'll have two short sides and one very long side of your triangle. I don't know if this is too bright and I can't change the zooms. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the very long side of your triangle and you're going to take the one corner, there we go, the one corner, and you're going to roll it, trying to make sure you're going to roll it, and you're going to pull that corner up to the top, the point of your triangle. And then you're going to take the other corner and you're going to roll it round and pull it to the point. So what you're going to land up with is all 3 points. You can see? You're going to have a cone, like so. Wait, I'm trying to get it in. Oh, there we go. You're going to have a cone, and then you're going to have all 3 points there. But then you're going to pull your points, these points, you're going to pull them until that end there is as tight and as smooth and as nice looking and neat and tidy as possible. Okay? It must be tight. It cannot be loose. Must be tight. Okay? And then you'll see that. And then you're going to come here and then you're going to cookies. I don't think there's any extras. You're going to fold that and you're going to keep folding it. What this is going to do, I don't want to use sellotape. Okay, so I'm just going to keep folding it. So this will just stop your bag from coming apart. I'm not going to use sellotape in here. You could, if you really wanted, you could put sellotape on the outside. But I don't want to waste sellotape. No point. Okay, this will work just as good. Okay, so I need 6 colors. So what's great about doing this is that if you need multiple colors, you can make multiple bags and you can have a color in each bag. These are also perfect for cutting and putting your metal tips in, nozzles. So I'm just going to make another 3 because I need 6, 2, 4, 6 colors, I think. Then I don't have to, yeah, then they're done. When I was a kid, I used to sit and make these bags, like hordes of them, and they can be stored away. And yeah, you can just use them, you know, store them away flat like this. And you can pack them into each other and use them for later. If you're sitting around doing nothing, which I'm obviously not. Okay, so I'm just going to make a couple more. And obviously if it does tend to, because I mean the disposable plastic bags that you get, they also burst in that they're very thin. They're not, you know, I mean they're not like the reusable ones where they're thick and durable. So if it does land up bursting, you just make another one and pop it inside there to stop it from bursting. And then obviously you just cut your nozzle out if you are using a nozzle, and then you chuck it away. So yeah, I'm just gonna do probably another 4, just in case I have one that's deciding that it's gonna burst. So I've got multiple cookies that I'm doing for multiple customers. So I'm just doing them all at one time because it's just so much easier. So that's why I didn't specifically say which cookies I'm doing. But I'm going to be making Barbie themed cookies. So we're doing heart. I'm going to start with those. We're going to do, it's heart-shaped cookies, and we're going to ice them pink because Barbie's all about being pink, right? So we're going to do heart-shaped ones with, and then what we're going to do is we're going to create a silhouette of Barbie and Ken on the cookie. But again, it's done in stages because there's certain parts that need to be dried, and yeah, if it's not dry, it's, yeah, you're going to have all sorts of weird and wonderful chaos happening. So and what do you plan on doing? So my husband decided that just nuisance here, sweetie, it's too cold for her and she needs a jersey. So he bought her a jersey, which she doesn't quite like. She's still getting used to. And now she came to me and said to me, please take it off, because she was trying to bite it off. And now she's running around with it. Just make sure that that end is tight. That end has to be tight. Super pointy, super tight before you start folding that bit in. Okay. Cookies for you. We are trying to be healthy eating and not eat treats, so that makes it very difficult in this household when I'm continuously making treats. So then my husband is constantly asking if there's any cookies or cake for him, same as my daughter, also always asking. And now, because we're trying to be not eat any treats, and then they're like, oh, but why did they treats for me? Sorry, Nick. I just want to, I suppose, yeah, pop out my chats so I can see what's going on. Oh, yeah. I shall be working with a mask, so but you just need to be watching what my hands are doing. So last one. I mustn't watch that clock because it's it's wrong. It's made me late. Oh goodness, I need to put a new battery in. Okay, my bags are done. I'm going to make some icing. I just want to quickly put on a mask. So I've already made, the royal icing. We are like purely doing cookie decorating today. So I've already done the icing. I've already made my icing for today. So I'm going to need, so I'm going to do it in stages, I think, because that way I'm not going to get myself all confused. We're going to start off with pink, because we're going to do Barbie the Barbie cookies first. So just so you know, your icing, the consistency will be how it comes out once you've made your royal icing. Egg whites and icing sugar, and that's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to need more than that. It's only 12 cookies. I have a lot of cookies, but each one is different. They're all different batches. So different batches of 12 and 10. So we're going to start off. So we've got let me sit down. We're going to start off with pink. Why don't you? Now she's shouting at me just because I'm here. You horrid little dog. Why are you shouting at me now? Okay. So I'm going to make a nice beautiful pink for Barbie. And I have to pick a tub that is empty. There's so many. Barbie shocking pink or light pink. What do you think, sweets? What do you want me to put it on? Or do you want me to put it on? Do you want to put this on? So Happy Dog has this little jacket. Do you want me to put it on? I put it on for you. But earlier on you asked me to take it off. Okay. Now. Okay. I don't have time for this. Right. She's been full of nonsense as usual. Let's mix these colors up. Sorry, I just need to go. Yes, I can see what's wait. What's happening in my control room? And you probably can hear her shouting. She's shouting at me. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to make some pretty pink. So it's quite runny. We want it to be runny like this. I don't want it thick. You want to be able to pipe it and have it flood and move as you need it. Not, you don't want to have to mess around with it too much. Okay, so we're going to put our icing into our bag. I'm actually going to use a spoon to do that. It's going to be easier because it's quite runny. So your paper bag is going to work exactly the same way as your disposable. Not going to be any different. And if you use the proper baking paper, it's not even going to have an issue with moisture. Well, it shouldn't. So, okay. And because that's super tight, it shouldn't be coming out. And then you're going to, some things are going to get used differently. You're going to fold it over like this so that you can right, so now you've got a piping bag with your icing. Oh, this is in a different spot. Here we go. Okay, so let's get moving with just this because I need my my heart cookies to dry. And then I'm going to do unicorn cookies, which also need a base that needs to be dry. So I'm going to start off with the hearts. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need to do 12. And because obviously I'm doing cookies, we want this hole to be very, very small. So I'm going to cut it small and see how it goes. And if it's too small, I'll make it bigger. Okay. So we're going to start out with a nice border. I'm holding the bag so that the icing is not, I'm not dragging my piping bag on the cookie. It's actually a little bit higher up. Okay. I'm going to do a whole bunch of borders because I want that border to dry just a little bit before I flood. So with this piping bag, you'll hold your bag a little bit differently because you need to hold that in. That needs to be held in, so you'll hold it like that, so that it doesn't pop out. So you won't be holding your bag like this. Okay. You can also just hold it if it makes it easier. Hold it like that so that you keep this bit closed. So we're doing this border as near as we can to the edge. Without going off the edge. Oh, music, music, music. Oh, talk about now feeling a bit like I'm not prepared today. When I was so prepared this morning already. Goodness me. All because my clock was wrong. Cut me off. It's literally stopped. So I've just cut the tip a little wider because now I'm going to flood. So it's just going to make it easier if it's a little wider, be easier for flooding. If you had a thinner tip, you'd be here forever. And I think you should be able to see it, how the icing's not holding its shape at all. It's flooding into each other, and that's what you want. That's the kind of consistency you want. And we'll just fix it up. Take any bubbles out. Obviously you do this without destroying your border that you created. The border holds it in nicely. Okay. You give it a bit of a shake, just to make sure it's nice and smooth and flat. And I'm going to say all cookies are created equal. They pretty much follow the same rule with all of them. Where you start out with a border generally. It just depends on what you're doing. You don't want this hole to be too big or too small. So if it's too small, then it's going to take you forever to get it out. And you don't want it also too big, or else then it's just going to mess everything. And that goes for the same as if you were using the disposable plastic ones or reusable ones. You don't want that hole. I don't do it. I find flooding is much easier without a nozzle. So I don't, especially with cookie decorating, the only time I use a nozzle is if I'm going to actually do some proper like piping where it needs to be very definitive, which I'm going to do on the unicorn one, so that the icing will be thicker and more sturdy, holds its shape, but for this it's not necessary. And then as you go along with this kind of piping bags, you just keep rolling it like like the end of a toothpaste tube. I just use a toothpick. You don't need one of those fancy metal ones. Works just as well. Oh, okay, maybe I did need more icing than I expected. Which is fine. I'll just make some more. Six, 8, 10, 12. That'll explain that one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, now I've got 12. 13. Baker's dozen. A baker's dozen is what I had. Any leftovers always generally goes to my husband and my daughter. And if my daughter sees me icing, then she wants to be icing, and where's her cookie? I'll finish that off because there's nothing left. Like toothpaste. I think this spare one, looks like it's been eaten on the side, even though it hasn't. So I think I'm gonna keep this one for my child because I'm not gonna give that one to my customer. Okay, let's just make some more pink. I'm actually going to make a little bit more because I'm going to need pink for, with this batch is makeup cookies, makeup components like lipstick and eyeshadow and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably going to need the pink for the lipstick for one of the things. Eyeshadow. I think more of the lipstick so that it's because it's part of Barbie. So I've got my spare cookie. That's fine. Always with royal icing you need to cover it with cling wrap or else it goes hard. And for this kind of work, you never want to have crusting pieces at all, ever. So I'm going to screen out what I need, and then the rest I'm going to cover. You can't ever have any kind of crusting piece. It will destroy your work that you're doing. And with these kind of bags, you don't want to fold them too much either, so I don't want to put all of this in there. I'm going to pop that in there, and then I'm just going to put some cling wrap on that so that it doesn't form a crust. And you can honestly flood this however you feel like it. When they're big cookies, it becomes quite tedious. So just fill it up, and you can just smooth it out. Probably not the best technique, but it still gives you the same results. If it was a smaller cookie, I'd be more meticulous. So I just want to make sure I'm in focus. Is it in focus or is it just me? I don't know. Shout if you can tell if it's out of focus or not. If you, anybody, if it's seeming like it's out of focus or in focus. Okay, I need to put it out of the way. So that's my pink Barbies done. I'm just going to cover this bit with cling wrap so that it doesn't dry out. And then I'm going to do white unicorns, and I need 10 cookies for that. 6, 9, 10. So because the unicorn cookies they're going to be white, the base, the face. So I'm just going to pop some white into Just Nuisance has been a nuisance. Her name is not just Nuisance, but she acts like one. Sweetie, come here. Sweetie. Hi. Come here. Say hi. Sorry about that. Just giving my puppy dog a bone so that she can stop. Yeah, being a nuisance. She's being a nuisance. Okay, so we're going to do the same process. I'm going to start off with a very small tip, and then do a border, and then flood these cookies. These are all going to sit and dry because I need to do stuff on top of them. It's the reason why I need to do them first so that they can dry. Same thing, we're going to do a border all the way around. We're going to try and make the circle as accurate as possible. You actually, believe it or not, will have more control the more you lift. Well, not the more you lift, but if you lift the tip higher rather than lower, and then you kind of pull your icing around. If you were touching, if you're going to touch it, you won't get that smooth edge. You won't be able to get your round. So it's almost like you're pulling the icing to go where you want it to go. And then while these are drying, I'm going to do my other cookies, which don't need so much drying. I can, yeah, I've got dinosaurs and makeup theme. Because this needs to dry because I'm going to I'm going to have to draw on my circle the face of my unicorn with an edible pen, and then I'm going to pipe extra the unicorn, the horn and ears, etc. I'm going to pipe that. Same with the, so I've actually folded this bag too much, so I actually am losing a little control over it, which is why I say don't fold them too much. I'm not getting control over the top area. Okay, so we're going to start. Where did I start? Here. Okay, so we're going to cut a bigger hole again. So that's going to either for piping or flooding. As you can see, doing cookies is incredibly time consuming. Which is another reason why you'll end up paying as much as you do for a nice cookie, because it is time consuming. And it doesn't matter whether it's a big cookie or a small cookie, it will still be time consuming. And obviously the more detailed your cookie is, the more you'll pay for it. Because then you're paying for the art and the technique. For me, you wouldn't go it like right to the edge, because then it's going to make it difficult for you to handle your cookie. And you're going to end up touching it and messing up your icing and stuff like that, because it's now right on the edge. So I wouldn't go right to the edge, but enough so that it looks like good coverage. Three more. Now we can move on to the next thing. Okay, I'm going to pop these onto a tray. I'm going to pop them on a tray and put them aside to dry. And obviously carefully so that you don't mess up all the work that you've just done. I think what I'm going to do next is the makeup, and then I'll do the dinosaurs. And then hopefully by the time I've done those, these will be fairly dry enough for me to work on. So I think because we're going with makeup, so I have to do 12 makeup cookies. So I'm doing three different styles with one will be lipstick, the other one will be blusher, and the other one will be eyeshadow. So I'm just thinking, if we obviously need pink for lipstick, but I'm actually going to draw on here because I did emboss it, but it hasn't come out very nicely. So I can't really see what I've done. So I've got a tray that has all the, and I embossed on here lipstick. So I'm going to just copy that lipstick on here with my edible pen. Especially the lipstick part is, yeah. So, yeah. So you can always just use this to draw first so that you know what you're doing and you know where you're going with yeah, see I did emboss it, but it's just not, that's also, it's it just doesn't come out the way I planned it to. Okay, so we've got lipstick that goes like that. It's the actual lipstick part. And then we have the outer part of the lipstick casing. And we're just going to give it a base like that. This will all get covered. We can put some dots and I'll show you how to do them. So that's basically what I'm going to do, and then we're going to have these like little waves that go across that. So I'm going to do that 4 times for each one of my lipsticks. It's really just so that I know kind of where everything's going and how it's all going to get totally covered up. and changed to the way it should be. I don't actually need to put the dots, all these things here, so I'm not going to. I have an idea of what I'm doing. I just want the idea of where my lipstick is and the shape of it, so that I don't mess that up and it can stay a little bit consistent. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the probably the most simplest thing to do is probably do some eyeshadow, blusher. The eyeshadow I think I'm going to do in purple and blue, and then we need eyeshadow, blusher. So the blusher I'm going to do, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do it in white for a reason, because I want it to dry, and then I'm going to dust it with like a champagne shimmer color, so that it looks like actual blush and not just some weird, blob. I don't want it to look like some weird blob. Okay, so I'm going to use white because I'm going to paint. I'm gonna dust it that color and paint it that color. I'm just going to do some more white because I want a thinner border again. I'll probably have to make some more bags just now. Let's see how we go. So also one of the things is that with the blush, I want to look like a compactor. So I'm going to actually I'm not going to go so we're going to have a double circle. So that's our usual thing that we'll do, but now obviously because it's the blusher, if we make it look like a compactor, then there's an edge bit that will be, I'm just trying to work out, let's go around about there. There's an edge bit that will be silver, right? Because it's a compactor with blusher. Okay, so that's roughly, so let me just do it with this so that you can see. So that's where my blush is going to be. So I just kind of want to have that dry first before I do the other bit. You'll see how it forms a line by allowing it to dry, and by doing it in sections like this. And then when I smooth it out like this, I kind of just like try and fix up any blups that I need fixed up. So this is going to be a blusher. So that circle, I'm going to try and make it more round. Is what I'm going to paint. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll do the outside. I'll paint silver. So once this bit is dry, I will then flood the outside, which I'm going to paint with silver. So again, I'm doing it in white because so that I can paint it in the two different colors. So this is actually too small. And you can fix things while it's still wet. Once it's dry, you can't, obviously. So if there's things that need to be fixed while it's wet, just try and fix it while it's wet. So I'm going to squeeze out what's left in here. Because I really don't like to waste. Again, you shake it so that it can get nice and smooth, because it will, it's very runny. And obviously it's all these things that I do is a likeness of something that I'm creating. It's not perfect in any way. If anyone is expecting perfection, then maybe they need to go somewhere else. But oh, that's better. I don't know if you can see that, but me making it a little bit thicker, it's made it easier to handle, as opposed to me making it very thin and then it's not as easy to handle. One of these. So the thing is that because I want to use the shimmer colors, I'm going to do most of this in white, because I'm going to, once it's dry, I'm going to brush it over with, I want it to look like makeup. I'm going to use my shimmer food coloring powders. And obviously, because I want everything to be in sections, I want the center to be one color, the outside another color. So I need to leave it to dry because what you'll see is when I come now, when this is dry, it'll form like a groove, like an embossed look before I start doing the next light. Okay. I'm just thinking that's going to be silver. Okay, so I'm going to just do this quick. So this is going to be silver, this is going to be pink, but a shimmer pink and a different kind of pink. And I'm going to make this pink, but with icing, with white polka dots. So this is going to be silver, so I'm going to just do this bit. And fill it. And leave it to dry. Also, what I can do by making the lipstick white and then doing a shimmer, I can make it different colors, different variations, different shades that I've got. I've got champagne, I've got copper, rose gold, that I can make each one of the lipsticks a different color. I can even do that with the blusher too, which is a little bit more how makeup would be, right? Okay, so that's my lipstick so far, and then I'm going to so this is going to be a square compactor with the eyeshadow. So the part that I'm doing now is the silver part of the compactor. So when that dries, I will paint it silver. this should be a little bit dry. We should be, see it's not even moving. And I should be able to then get the round bit. So this one I'm going to try and be as accurate as possible all the way around. Because I don't want the two blending into each other. I actually want it to look like two different things. And if you can see it, can you see there's like an embossing look to it? And that is because I've allowed it to dry slightly before doing the next layer. So it won't run into each other. So what will happen is when this is completely dry, I will paint the outside silver and the inside with a shimmer blush look color. So I'm going to basically do the same thing with all of these because I'm going to be painting it more than I'm going to be doing different colors. But it's also how you can control different sections. And also this is the side edge is looking slightly raised, which is cool. Makes it look nice. Just clean that off before. So I'm going to do this similar thing because I want that section to be different to that section. But I'll be able to do the pink part now of it. So now, while it's still wet, I'm going to put little dots in so that they won't be raised. They will sink in with it. And they will form part of that as a whole. And I'm not too worried about there being a border on the pink part. That's why I'm not doing one. And the last lipstick. And obviously these things are always whatever color you want to make them, but because this is part of a Barbie theme party, I'm doing pretty much everything in pink. Okay, so we're going to fill up each one of these squares now because that is dried, and you will see like a will look like it's been like an embossing. So I'll fill up each one of these squares, and then again when they are dry I will paint them. I'm going to do blue and purple, shades of blue and purple. I've got two different blues and I've got two different purples, so I think I'm going to do that with the shimmer so that it looks like eyeshadow. You can see the embossing. Comes out looking like embossing. You can always shake it to give it a flatten and obviously to get any air bubbles out. I think what I'm probably going to do is probably do yeah, I'm trying to decide how I should do the background of the lipstick. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. So by leaving it to dry, you can see each section has been embossed, and it'll look completely different once I start to paint it and stuff. Obviously, give it some shading. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish up because I started a little later than I was planning to. I think I'm not going to do the dinosaurs because, or else I'm going to get onto something and then I'm not going to be able to show you what the main thing was. So I'm just going to quickly make some black. I'm going to make some black. I'm going to quickly make some black icing. And I'm going to do that by using some red that I had, leftover red, that I'm not going to be using. And then I'll just mix the red in with the black, so that it'll come out very nice black. gonna I think I'm gonna run out of time. So I will do a recording of the unicorns and the dinosaurs, and obviously finishing off. Oh, that's come out more chocolate than black because of the red. That's fine. I'll put more black in, but the red will just make it more, will make it darker. There we go. More black. I'm going to move this over and I'm going to put a new one down. Get another piping bag. That in here. This, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do it with a very small hole, because I really don't want it. I want it as fine and as dainty and simple as possible. And if you use a hole that's too big, it's going to not do that at all. It's going to come out looking like something else. So I decided to go with an iced version of the Barbie logo, or the Barbie and Ken, on the cookie, because I felt that it would look much nicer than I could have done edible prints and then just stuck them on. But this is a very, very, very regular customer of mine, and sometimes I like to give my customers a little something extra. So I'm just going to wash my hands. So now for the Barbies, I'm going to is this hard enough? That's the question. So I'm wanting to draw on this, and it might not be hard enough for me to draw on, so I have to be super careful. If it's not, this is my spare one, so I'm not going to be too stressed, but I do want to show you. So I've cut out I've printed out what it's supposed to look like on normal paper. And I'm going to cut this out and make it like a little stencil. Might be the long way around on doing things, but we shall see. Well, let's see if it works. If it doesn't, then I'll know. But yeah, I'm doing it on a spare cookie anyway, so it's not. Oh, this has actually worked out to be too small. No. Oh my word. So this has actually worked out to be too small. I measured it, but it's worked out to be way too small. So that's not going to work. I'm going to have to make it. I'm going to have to print them out bigger. So no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Oh, that is terrible. That's awful. Okay, so I'm going to have to redo these. These are not. This is not going to be ready, and I really don't want to. If I press on this, it's going to make a dent. Yeah. Okay, so it's not ready. It's going to make a dent on it. Really don't want to mess up my customer stuff. So I'm definitely. What's going to have to happen is that this is going to dry overnight. And I won't be able to continue it until tomorrow. So I'll do a video clip so that I can make a beginning to end of the Barbie one. But yeah, I'm gonna have to make a new one of these because this is too small. It needs to kind of fill as much as possible on this heart. Oh dear, that was not meant to happen. And then obviously these will also be not dry enough for me to paint on. So also only tomorrow, once it's dry. I do think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, but I'm not going to make a very big hole. I'm going to these lines I'm going to make black. And allow them to dry. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to I could leave it like this, or I could fill the background in. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to dry, and I'm going to allow myself to think about it. Yeah. Sometimes I run out of time, and that's pretty much where I'm at now. I'm running out of time, and also it needs to dry. Very important not to rush these things. And just leave them to dry and do their thing, or else you can really mess them up. This is getting a hard piece. Not sure why. There's a hard piece inside there. Okay, so the gist of it is that everything I've done up until now is needing to dry. I cannot continue further unless I do some dinosaurs, which I can do for, no, let me leave it. So it's been a bit of a short stream today because of me coming in a little later than I was supposed to because of my clock doing some random stuff. And now it's over there. Anyway, guys, that is how cookies are decorated. In general, they're pretty much like that all the time. So there's not much difference to any kind of cookie that you make. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love and leave you as I need to go fetch my